Hi, welcome to the Simple Logistics channel. So today I want to discuss the news and the trends with air transport, especially now during the pandemic. The news from air companies or airlines everywhere are not really good. They are bleeding money, and most of them are in financial trouble. So some airliners are cutting personnel, they are canceling orders for new aircraft, and this is not a good sign. For those of us that use air transport for cargo, the airlines industry is essential. We have some cargo aircraft operating right now, but most of the airlines fleet is geared toward carrying passengers, and it carries cargo in the belly of the aircraft, in the cargo compartment of the aircraft. For normal business, to keep all supply chains running, companies need these transport to remain operational. We have the movement of passengers and also the movement of cargo in the same aircraft. It is economic for the airline industry. Cargo is part of their revenue, but it's not their main source of revenue. Passengers are the main source of the revenue, and cargo can be moved fast and in an economical fashion. If we only use a cargo aircraft, probably the rates for cargo will not be at the same level as they used to be. Right now, for example, because there was a steep reduction the number of passenger aircraft flying, so you have less capacity to move cargo. There is a high demand of cargo of PPE, medicine, and hospital equipment, and so forth, being moved by air. So you have a situation where there is no balance. You have less space available, and you have more demand of air transport. So prices are really higher than they used to be right now. What we see is that if we have a lot of problems with airliners, if a lot of airline companies go bankrupt or have to reduce their fleet size, probably will remain many years with these capacity crunch in the market, and prices for moving cargo by air will remain high for longer. And this is not good for international trade. This is not good for people that work in supply chains. You'll have to use more sea transport, for example, which also has a capacity crunch right now. It's really not comparable when you need to move products, for example, electronic products, which are small and high value. Air transportation used to be the preferred method of transportation. But at current rates, many companies will change that for sea freight. So you'll have electronic components taking longer to get to their final assembly lines. You'll have a longer pipeline, a longer supply chain, and it's possible that products, some of these components, become obsolete during the travel, during the time it takes for them to arrive at their final assembly line. So this is not an ideal situation. especially for high-tech companies. It's essential to have fast global transport, air transport, used to provide that. And right now, we are during the pandemic, we are facing like a perfect storm where we have reduced capacity for air transport, reduced capacity for sea transport, and you have a lot of demand for, especially as I mentioned, health related cargo to be moved. So, uh, but it's one thing to have higher rates for the duration of the pandemic. Is another thing if you have a number of important airlines go bankrupt, and then you lose that capacity. That will create a lot of unemployment. Airlines or the airline industry, they are very important in creating jobs. Not only the airline itself, the crews, but you have people working with catering business. You have the people working with maintenance of the aircraft. You have moving the baggages in the airport. You have a whole industry around that is now being affected very hard by the pandemic. In some places, governments are stepping up and helping, maintain that industry. I think that is very important because air transport, because the airport infrastructure, because all of these will be necessary for the economic recovery post pandemic. So governments should step up and should help maintain their main carriers, so we don't have a lot of air companies going bankrupt, and we maintain some of the capacity, if not all, at least a big portion of the capacity to move goods by air, passenger, and also goods by air. It's important to move passengers, but especially for these days, to keep supply chains running, to deliver, for example, the PPE, the vaccines on time, we need a lot of air transport capacity, and only healthy airlines can provide that, and maintain all the other industries that are around, provide a big portion of the economy. So I really hope that airlines can survive this crisis. It has lasted much longer than the 9/11 crisis, for example, and I think most companies were not prepared for that, and I think no one was really prepared for this pandemic. Right now, I think governments should step up and help and maintain this industry and maintain this capacity. There will be a return on investment later on because of the effects in the overall economy. So that's where those were my 2 cents about air transport. Thank you for watching, and please like, subscribe. See you. Bye.